the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, it's the warm-up today, ahead of the game, where we'll have the team lineups and go through talking points ahead of the game. Before I do that, let's get into the couple of little formalities we like to do before the show starts. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel up the search results, so smash that like on your way in or on your way out or during the show. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. Free to do so, helps the channel grow, and also bell notification tells you when I'm got an upcoming show, any live shows or pre-records as well. Right, guys, let's get into some comments. I will be joined by Rowley, but unfortunately he's running a little bit late, so it may be about 1:15 when he comes on, but that's not a problem, we can wait. Sefton says, how are the lads? Good afternoon all. Good afternoon to you, Sefton. I hope you're well, mate. Nell says, big up Tony boy. Brilliant win for Man U against City. Yes, it was. I mean, it opens it up a bit, doesn't it? As long as we win today, if Spurs win, that makes it even more interesting. Leslie says, afternoon all. Afternoon, Leslie. Hope you're well. Got Ian in the house. Afternoon, Tony. Afternoon, Ian. Hope you're well, mate. And Gary says, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to you, Gary. Hope you're well, mate, and hope you're looking forward to the game. See if you win. Do you go above Man United, Tony boy? Yes, we do, on goal difference. So on goal difference, we go above Man United. Good afternoon, Tony, mate. Hope we can get a win today, says Gordon. Yeah, I hope so, mate. It'll be a tough game, but I'm quite confident we can get the 3 points. And Nell says, smash the like, subscribe, share button, turn on the bell notifications. Thank you very much, Nell. Big up, mate. Big up. Referees, Rob Jones from Merseyside said, Sefton, yep. Sefton isn't Mike Dean on VAR too? Yes, he is. We will get into that in a moment. Mighty Mag says, afternoon, Tony, Seth and all. Big Joe starts. Afternoon. Hope he starts. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe did say in his press conference he will give it to see how his state of mind is, if he's fit enough to play or not. So we'll wait and see on that. We'll know at 1 p.m. when the team sheets are arriving. Good afternoon, Tony and the lads. Good afternoon, Wayne. I hope you're well, mate. Sefton giving you details there, which I'll be bringing you in a moment. 3-0 Brighton, buzzing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a result for Brighton that was yesterday. And it just shows you how poor Liverpool are. There's just a couple of things before we get into the show. I mean, yesterday, obviously, I'm on part of a WhatsApp group. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out there. And I did share a story that we have very strong links to this guy. And then even Sky broke it on their transfer roundup on their Sky Sports website. Mikalenko Savic, who plays for Lazio, midfielder. Apparently we're about to outbid Arsenal on him, and he's got 18 months left on his contract. It's a no-brainer if he comes in. I know some people are thinking he's a 27, it goes against the age. You know, that the big fee, the big wages. But I suppose one day we're going to have to start breaking this wage structure. That's the thing. And if we want to compete at the top end, we've got to start getting the great players in. And this guy's a fantastic player. If we get him in, it's brilliant. I mean, Italian media are also saying he's broke off contract talks with Lazio because of our interest. Maybe he wants to come to us for the project. Who knows? But I tell you what, if we get him, that would be a fantastic signing. Also, yesterday reported in the news, Craig Hope said that we're actually monitoring this guy as well, Ruben Neves of Wolves, because he's another defensive midfield centre. Another fantastic player. He's got Premier League experience, which is even better. 25, and he's got 18 months left on his deal as well. He's a terrific talent. He really is, and I would definitely have Ruben Neves if there was an option of getting him as well. I would definitely have him in because I think he's a terrific player. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments on Savage and Ruben Neves. Yeah, so today, as mentioned, Rob Jones is the referee today in the Man in the Middle. And he's also assisted by Lee Betts and Ian Husson on the pitch. And games, all competitions this season. Well, sorry, this is for 2021-22 stats I've got here. 26 games, 85 cards, yellow cards, and 1 red card. But that was last season's stats. And yeah, and his VAR rep is this man. Yes, it's all about me, Mr. Mike Dean. Absolutely. But saying that, the couple of times he's been on VAR this season, he's been pretty fair to us. So maybe he's changed his ways a little bit since he's been on VAR. But we all know what this guy's like, and we're pleased he's on. I'd rather have him on VAR than on-field referee, because when he's on field, it's all about him, isn't it, Mike Dean? So, yeah, guys. But that's your lineup for your referees today. And assistant VAR to is Adrian Holmes as well. So that's your lineup for your officials today. Mighty Mag says, also, can I just mention, shocking of them Everton fans last night. Yes, they were disgusting last night, I must admit. I mean, they blocked the street off, stopped Jerry Mina. He got out the car, fair play to him. I mean, he was a brave man to get out of that car and speak to the fans. But, sorry, the Everton fans need to realise at the end of the day, their club is not as good as they think it is. I mean, yes, they've spent a lot of money. But the end of the day, they are in the mess they are in because they've bought the wrong players in. Too many stupid signings. They have flirted with relegation too many times. I think if they went down this season, I think it would do the club the world of good, because they could have a proper clear out, get that club sorted out and get back up. But, yeah, I mean, it's Everton are just a mess, and I, for one, would love to see them get relegated, because I think it's high time they went down. And unfortunately, Frank Lampard, they have a championship manager. He's not a Premier League manager. And so if Frank Lampard takes Everton down, then I think at the end of the day, it's their own fault, and they deserve to be in the championship next season. If they stay up again this season, I'll be very, very surprised. If you can't beat the bottom team, Southampton, then you don't deserve to stay in the Premier League in my eyes. So that's that one. Leslie says, what happened, Mighty Mag? I've missed it. Yeah, Leslie, like I just said, a load of fans blocked the road off, stopped him, and Yerry Mina got out of his car, which, like I say, very, very brave man to do that. Not very nice, Mighty Mag says, Sefton, yeah. And to see your board of directors can't even go to the match because of that, their safety can't be guaranteed. That's absolutely disgusting. And yes, and do you know what it is? So what gets me is, where is the bad press around these Everton fans? Why aren't the press out shouting at the Everton fans and media saying, well, this is disgusting what you're doing? But, you know, when we were doing this to make Ashley, we were getting branded disgraceful, and, you know, the same we did with Steve Bruce, we were hounding them out the club, and It's, but when it's other clubs, nothing's said because we're not Newcastle. That's why, because they are not Newcastle. But when it comes to us, we always get the bad press, and it's absolutely disgusting. But it's about time people realised that other clubs are just as bad. Like when Villa fans were throwing cabbages at Steve Bruce. Nothing mentioned about that being a nice family man. When West Brom fans got him out the club, nothing was mentioned. Oh, Steve Bruce, can't get rid of him. He's a family man. He's a lovely man. No, because it was always aimed at us. And so Troll says, hey, Tony, and hey, all. Yeah, hi, all. And I've got the man himself. Here he is. And here is Rolly. Good afternoon to you, Rolly. How are you?
Good afternoon, Tony. I'm good, thanks. Sorry for being a bit late. It's my sister Susie's 60th birthday, so I was delivering a cake to my mum's for her. So happy birthday, Susie, even though she's not watching.
No worries, mate. No worries. Chris says Mike Dean's always been a bit of a winker. Yes, he has. Well,
yes.
Not just a winker. Take the eye out and add an ear to that as well.
Yeah, it's just a misprint.
Yeah, it's a misprint.
So I've been watching, I've been listening to the shows, I've been doing the stuff, so I'm sort of know where you're up to, so I don't need a sort of refresher. But
Gary says, John not jumping on today, Tony. Not when he's at the match, so it depends on getting a signal. It's quite hard sometimes for him to get a signal. So Jules is in. Hello, gang. Hi, Jules. I hope you're well. Sefton says, Wallace thrown cushions at me last night after Liverpool got beat. Well, the better team won, unfortunately, that was Brighton.
God, they were really good, Brighton. And Liverpool were really poor.
Jules, you protest respectfully with class. These are cowards, not football fans. Absolutely, Jules. I mean, yeah.
Everton deserve to go down for that alone.
I mean, if you heard me before there, Rolly, I think now's the time. I think it's Everton's time to go down because they flirted with relegation far too many times in a row. Got out of it. I think this time they need to go down. I think it would do that club the world of good if they went down. Yes, they're going to have a brand new shiny stadium next season. But
best in the Championship.
Yeah, but I think even if they went down, they may struggle to get back out the Championship like Villa did for a few years.
It's a horrible league to be in. We've been fortunate in the two times we went down under the previous regime. We've got straight back up. I think one was because of the manager in Rafa, and then the second with Gus Houghton. I think it's that the players. I think it's we lost away to Leighton Orient in the pre-season. The players got together and said, well, if we carry on like this, we'll probably end up in League One, and we don't want that. And they got their act together and got straight back quite comfortably. But you see the number of clubs in the Championship who've been in the Premier League. It's just full of them. And it's just such a hard league to get out of because between the top and the middle, there's not much. Middle and the playoff, there's not much. And the bottom and the middle, there's not much difference between the teams. So, and it's a slog. It's just a slog.
Well, you talk about Premier League teams going down. You just go back to look where Oldham Athletic are now. They're in the non-league. They're in the National Conference. They were in the Premier League at one time.
Yeah, when it started for quite some time.
Yeah, we beat them 1-0 away. I remember at Boundary Park.
Yeah. But, there's the list of clubs that have been in the Premier League for a long period of time and haven't been there for. Look at Nottingham Forest, how long it took them to get back up.
Yeah.
23 years.
And look where Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich Town are, both in the third tier of English football. So
and the unwashed spent about 4 years in the League One as well.
Yeah, so it happens. Troll says, hope the media goes hard on the Everton fans like they did with us. Do you know what, Trolls? They probably won't. And I think we're expecting too much of that. Gary says, if Everton stay up, I'll be shocked, not surprised, Tony, mate. Yeah, I'll be shocked as well. They can't stay up this season. Surely they've got to go down. It's about time they went down. I think they've had that time now.
Yeah.
And I've always said Frank Lampard has never been a Premier League manager, never will be. He's Championship at best, and you know.
And the problem they've got is if they get rid of Lampard, who do they replace him with? And are they going to be able to do anything with the players they've got?
That's the thing.
I mean, it's pretty much Richarlison that kept them in the league last year. His goals at the end of the season. Now they've lost them. They've got Calvert-Lewin, who makes Callum look like the Mr. Play every game.
Yes.
And that's their only forward. They've got a couple in midfield that are serviceable at defensive midfield. They've got T-Rex in goal, who, though we take the stick out, give him a stick, he's a decent shot stopper. Just, he would save more goals if his arms were longer.
Yes. Sefton and Trolls both saying hi to you, Rolly.
Hi, Tristan and Trolls.
And Jules also saying hi to me and you.
Hi,
Jules. I hope you're well. Joel says, bit nervous for the game, to be honest. Don't be nervous. Yes, it'll be a tough game.
Yeah.
I know we beat them 4-1 down there, but you know what? They beat a poor Chelsea side. Chelsea are just in a mess at the moment. I mean, Chelsea's a club that keep on giving. I mean, it's just fantastic. I'm just going to pop the table up here a moment and just to show people where we will be come the end of the game should we win. This is the table at the moment. It should be appearing on screen now. That's it. So as you look at the table, yes, we are sitting fourth, but a win today puts us back into third. We've got a significant goal difference over Manchester United. We are then 1 point behind City, and should Tottenham beat Arsenal today, we will then only be 6 points behind top place. So, you know, it's all to play for. So we just want to hope Spurs can go ahead and beat Arsenal should we win today, and we're only 6 points off the top spot, and it's very much game on then. But if Arsenal win, they'll open up a nice gap. But you know, it's a North London derby. Who knows? Who thought Man U would have beat Man City yesterday? I thought
they got lucky with that first goal, though. That first goal.
Yes. It's only because Rashford did not touch that ball. That's what got away with it. But had he made any sort of contact with it, it would have been offside.
But the thing about it, you look at the goal that Bournemouth had disallowed against us when Tony got his foot out the way of the ball. He was still given offside because he's affecting the players around him. And the fact that Rashford ran 30 yards before he decided to let the ball go, as if that's not interfering with play, I don't know what is. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. If they don't get that goal, do they win?
Well, that's the question.
It changed the game. It's scandalous. But there again, it was at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
I mean, currently you've got Brighton who are in 7th place, Brentford in 8th, Liverpool 9th now, and Chelsea are in 10th place. I mean, Chelsea are now 5 points away from a European place.
It's so funny if they don't qualify.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. All these players that are signing. Now, I don't know if anybody saw the news this morning, but apparently Chelsea asked West Ham if they could have Mikel Antonio on loan for the rest of the season. And West Ham told them where to go and said, no way, he's not going to Chelsea. I mean, are Chelsea getting that desperate that they're trying to get every player they can in the club? I mean, you know, all these players coming in, it's great having them, but you don't qualify for European competition. They're not going to want to stay at the end of the season. That's going to be a huge problem for Chelsea. And I tell you what, they're struggling big time. And they're still saying Potter is the man for the job. He's the man for the future at Chelsea. There's no pressure on him whatsoever. So...
The problem with Potter is that he's inherited a basket case. Like they've got loads of injuries, but you've got Todd Bowley going around like he's on Football Manager, just buying everybody. They haven't forged an identity. Whether that's because they've got too many big-time Charlies that don't want, like, we play this way because this is the way we've always played, rather than buying into what Potter wants them to do, because it worked really well at Brighton. He's obviously a very talented manager. Maybe he's just not been able to win them over like Eddie has with our guys.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's just a strange one, isn't it, though?
Yeah. But I mean, one of the reasons I want Chelsea not to qualify, not just because it'd be hilarious, it will really stunt their income financially because they won't have all the European income. And then all
Yeah.
this funding becomes more of a problem because they won't have the Champions League or European income to help finance it. And that's the funny bit.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the bottom of the table here. I mean, Nottingham Forest are 13th now, and I always said they would get out of this.
I thought they would once they settled down, because they made so many changes at the beginning of the season. It's always going to be difficult for them to become a cohesive team. They look like they're starting to do that.
I mean, you know, they're up to 13th, 5 wins, 5 draws, 9 defeats. I mean, they beat a Leicester team yesterday 2-0. Sorry, 3-0. Sorry, 3-0. And was it 3-0? 2-0. 2-0, wasn't it? 2-0, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry, 2-0. Yeah, so 2-0 yesterday, both goals from Brennan Johnson. I mean, he's starting to look a good player now in the Premier League. I mean, him and with his pace and, you know, Gibbs White, I know people laughed at, and I was one of them and said, look, £40 million for a player from Wolves, Gibbs White, is he really worth it? But I'll tell you what, the performances he's putting in, he's starting to look that player now. And I tell you what, he's going to go a long way in the game, and he might not be a Forest too much longer if he keeps up these performances, because he looks a terrific passer of the ball. But that cross for Brennan Johnson to get onto for the first goal, I mean, he timed his run perfectly. And then the audacity to do an overhead kick at the defence side of it, I mean, brilliant. But yeah, Forest are up there on merit. We've got now West Ham, Everton, and Southampton as the bottom three. I mean, West Ham's having a poor season. You know, I can see it being a battle here now. I mean, Everton are just struggling big time now.
So Bournemouth have gone into a bit of free fall at the minute. It's almost since O'Neill got is it O'Neill, the new manager? Well, since the assistant got the manager's job, they've gone into free fall. But I think the only saving grace for the teams at the bottom is that it is so tight. No one, normally someone has been cut loose and is out of touch by 4 or 5 points from safety. Though at this stage of the season, it is possible to make that up, but no one's been cut adrift because they're all 1 point away from safety. And you look at Leeds in 14th, they're only 2 points above the drop zone. You only start to get that little gap when you get to Forest. So, I mean, you're looking really anyone from perhaps Crystal Palace, well, say Forest down, could go down at any three from those what was it, 8 teams?
Yeah.
But if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would bet on Southampton, Everton, and probably Bournemouth to go down.
I would think that would be the fair shout because, I mean, you know, you look at like next week's games. I mean, Forest are away to Bournemouth, so that's a big game. Forest win that one, that really puts Bournemouth in the crap.
Yeah.
You've got West Ham at home to Everton next week. That's a huge game. That's a 6-pointer for both teams.
Yeah.
Southampton go away to Southampton at home to Villa. I mean, you know, they've got some huge games down there. Leeds are at home to Brentford on the Sunday. I mean, it's just absolutely massive games. But do you know what? We don't care because we're not involved in that. But it's great to watch it from afar because
it's been a long time. It seems like it's been a long time since we've had that luxury.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, I'm the last time was we had that luxury is really under Pardew.
Yeah.
Just then mid-table was the order of the day. Now we're fighting for Champions League.
Yeah.
In a couple of days' time, we may be in the title picture again.
Yeah, who knows? Sefton says, up the Premiership we go. I have every confidence in the squad today. Absolutely.
So do I.
Look at the teams bottom of the Championship, all ex-Premier League teams, says Mighty Mag. Very true. Leslie says, if Everton are relegated, does that mean they get away with FFP issues? I'm not sure, but I'm sure it will.
It's not so much they get away with issues. The FFP in the Championship is a lot stricter than it is in the Premier League. So it'll make it. I think that's one of the reasons why it's harder for teams to come straight back up. Because if they're carrying big losses from the Premier League, they've got to try and get that in order for the Championship because they've got stricter FFP rules than the Premier League. So they won't necessarily. I think with regards to the Premier League, they'll get away with it, but they'll be under a more tighter regime in the Championship. And there have been
definitely
there have been in the last few seasons been teams that have been docked points for FFP. Look at Derby, and the Championship will take points off you, whereas the Premier League don't want to if you're a big club.
Toon Revival says Savage would be a statement player for Newcastle and a warrior in midfield. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And he could possibly be a replacement for Longstaff, but Longstaff would then be a squad player. But do you know what? I mean, that would be a hell of a signing if he comes in. But we just wait and see. At the moment, it's all just down to rumours and paper talk. So we just see what happens. However, the lad says Maxi needs to play today. If he doesn't play today, he's gone. Not necessarily.
No. It's a squad game. It's a squad game.
Team sheet comes out in 1 minute, so we'll have that up on screen. Gary says, I still remember when Everton fans invaded the pitch before the game was finished and no punishment for that. Yeah, Gary, exactly. They get away with everything. I'm just trying to catch up on some comments. Sefton says, what time is appropriate for one and only bottle? Looks tempting in the fridge. Well, I mean, yes, it's coming up to 1 o'clock, but I'm still drinking water, as you can see there. I'll put it on the screen if you can see it there, my bottle of water. So I'm still drinking water at the moment. I'm going to wait till the kick-off before I have a glass of beer. Troll says, if Murphy starts over ESM, I'm fuming. Yeah, I mean, it's not... Let's just see if the team sheet's in, guys. I'm just going to have a look. And
you've got to remember that Murphy was starting when ASM was injured.
Oh, guess what, guys? Team news is in. So as I get this downloaded. So the team that's playing today is Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier captain, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Miggy Almiron, Joe Linton, and Callum Wilson. So that is your starting 11 today. So the unchanged, and the substitutes bench is Dubravka's back on the bench along with Lascelles, Maxi, Richie, Lewis, Isak, Manquillo, Wood, and Murphy. So that is your team, and we'll be on screen in a moment, guys.
There's a question for you, Tony. I've read some articles, I've seen some articles in the news that Wolves are after Lascelles. Would you sell him this season or wait till the summer?
Yeah. Well, if they want him that desperate in January, sell him. That's what I say. Get rid of Lascelles in January because, you know, if they're that desperate to buy him.
I suppose it depends on the price.
If they're desperate to buy him, we can get it. Yeah. Well, we want apparently about 7 million from him. So if they want to buy him for 7 million, they can have him. You know, as I say, I'll quite happily drive him down there. Even though I don't live in Newcastle now, but I'll quite happily come up and pick him up.
I'm not against selling him. I'm just, my thoughts on selling him is now that we're then down to 3 centre halves in Botman, Schär, and Byrne, who can obviously move into centre half if need be. Then it's a case of, do we go out and get a centre half now as cover, or do we look at that is it Alex Murphy, the young lad that we got in the summer?
Yeah, so we've got backup there if we want to use him.
Yeah, because he looked, I mean, obviously it was only in a game, a friendly game, but he looked like he had good positional sense and could read the game quite well. So it would be interesting to see whether they think, well, we'll wait till the summer to get a sort of top class young striker, or we'll progress with him or Cal Watts when he comes back from loan.
Yeah, they may do, but they may have somebody in mind to replace themselves in January. We may get a centre half in on loan just to the end of the season. So
there's lots of opportunities. But I'm with you. The only thing I'd miss is his yellow cards for his shithousery, stopping throwing at the end of games.
Yeah. I mean, Mighty Max just gets Steve Bruce at Everton, perfect family man. Joe says, it's Seth whenever you like, lol, my wine is chilling. Nice one. Chris Banks says, Everton and Steve Bruce would be a match made in heaven. Absolutely. Troll says, Chelsea should change their name to Santa Claus. Yeah, exactly. They're always giving out presents. Not presidents. How are the lads? Spuds, Arsenal draw for me. Yeah. Rather Arsenal win, to be honest, says Trolls.
It's one of those. It's a difficult one, but I think I agree with Trolls, because if we win and Arsenal win, it means we've got a bit more of a cushion between ourselves and Spurs.
Yeah. Draw for me, Arsenal Spurs, says Jules. How are the lads? Says our goal versus Palace. Docked us off 2 points, and if Man U burgled 2 extra yesterday, we'd have been at least 4 points above. Yeah, great point, mate. Great point, absolutely. Foxy says, let's start today like the Leicester game, get 3 points, and then hope Arsenal beat Spurs after. Opens up a nice gap between us and 5th. Yeah, absolutely, Foxy. See where you're coming from. How did Chelsea pay the wages? Says, how are the lads? Do you know what? I don't know. I'd love to know what their FFP rate is, because I'm sure they must be just about there with it. Toon Revival says, that table shows we need a decent scoring winger because we have a lot of draws. The shoes are finishing it isn't great in certain games. Yeah, and I'm sure that quality will come eventually.
Yeah.
Toon Revival. Gary says you could say the same about Southampton, who thought they would kick Man City out of the cup, lads. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nobody saw that coming. You thought, oh, that's Man City all deal, beat Southampton, but didn't. Leslie says, I appreciate Chelsea had debt wiped out and have major sponsorship deals, but never mind. What buys they've made, their wage bill must be astronomical. Yeah. I willing to pay 100 million euros for Mudryk. Sefton says he's one of our own. Big Dan Burney's one of our own, absolutely. He certainly well is. Just trying to catch up on these comments. I don't think Bowley understands European football the way they spend. No, I don't think either, Trolls. So it's going to be interesting. Leslie saying, agree to how are the lads. Mighty Max says, anyone seen that embarrassing video clip of Lingard in the dressing room thinking he's some gangster? I haven't seen it, but I'll have to have a check it out. Julie talking to Trolls. Foxy says, not bothered at all with Chelsea signing, spending money, never guarantees success. You can see why they have no real plan. These latest buys, Potter also has zero say in these deals, to only downhill. You're totally right, Foxy. I mean, it's the owners buying all these players. It gets me when people slate us and say, oh, we're only up there because we've bought players. Yes, we've bought players. We haven't gone out stupidly to buy players. And we've also got a tune out of players that were at this club as well before Eddie Howe came along. Almiron, Joe Linton, Joan Longstaff. Eddie Howe's got a tune out with them. So, it's not just about bringing players in. But we haven't gone out mad and spent 80 million on this player, 90 million on that player. Yes, we spent 63 on Alexander Isak, and that's a record signing. But other than that, a lot of the deals were 30 to 40 million pound. Dan Burn, 13 million pound. Matt Target, 15 million pound. Not massive fees. So people saying we spent money need to really have a reality check and need to do that research a bit more better as well.
And the quality that we've got for the players, like Nick Pope for 10 million.
Yeah. Gary says, did you notice James Maddison not involved at yesterday's game against Forest? Yeah, I saw the team sheet and I was like, yeah, there's something strange going on there. And I'm sorry, I don't care what Brendan Rodgers says. I don't care if he thinks he's injured still. I don't think he is. I think they want to sell him in January. And they're just waiting for that deal to be going through. And I've said this since Boxing Day, and he was training for England. So how's he come back with an injury? It's a bit of a mystery to me, and I think something's really going on behind the scenes there, but we just have to wait and see. Mighty Max is a great troll, so dodged a bullet. So people there talking to each other there. How are the lads? Forest's home form picked up. Yeah, do you know what though? They're a different side at home. They're a much better team at home. I mean, even last year when they played on that semi-final second leg, Michael Oliver, one of our own again, he walked up to one of the Forest players, I think it was Brennan Johnson who was talking at the time, and he said, Michael Oliver's just come up to me and he says, is it always noisy like this year? And Brennan Johnson says, oh yeah, it's always noisy. He says, my God, he says, I've never heard a noise like it. He says, I know St James's Park has a roar. He says, but yeah, he says, I couldn't hear myself think. I couldn't even hear myself speak to the other players or anybody on the or any of my assistants talking because it's that loud. So it just shows you even referees are pretty impressed with the noise there. And good on them. Chris Banks says 88 million for Mudrick's another sign of panic buying. It is, absolutely, totally agree with that. Billy, hi Billy, I hope you're well, mate. He says Leicester are in deep trouble too, unless they sell the Obrasic. They are, Billy, absolutely. I mean, COVID hit them a lot because their company King Power, it's all about duty free in the airports. That's what they do. They're in the travel business, so they've lost a lot of money through COVID, and they haven't got the money to spend. When they're buying people like Fout Face for £15 million, he just looks awful. Makes even John Allen Boomsong look a better defender. And that's saying something. Looking forward to the watch along. Yeah, the watch along will probably be on Tune Review, so tune in if you want an alternative commentary to Sky and tune in with Billy. How are the lads? They should take their parachute payments off everything. Yeah, they should do, yeah. But they won't. Leicester are looking like they're in a dogfight. I'd be worried if I was their fans, says Mighty Mag. I think they are. Yeah. Everton say they've lost 170 million in the COVID era. All of the clubs had 40 million. How is this possible? Don't know, Truls. I really don't know. I don't know the accounts of Everton, unfortunately. So,
City lost 80. Said they lost 80 million, and they would have lost all that European revenue. So how the hell Everton can the Premier League can actually say that Everton are justified in saying they lost 170 million is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's just right. Because they knew it. What boils down is they knew that if they took points off Everton, they'd go down, and they didn't want to do that.
They probably shelled out too much money on that Harry Potter lookalike guy, asking him to come on the pitch and tie himself to the goalpost against us. They probably overpaid him by £100,000,
But fair play to him. He was their player of the season.
Yes, he was, yeah.
Because
Didn't quite get Premier League Player of the Month, though, did he?
I think that if that guy doesn't tie himself to the post, the Everton fan, the ground was dead because we were on top. And that got the crowd back into the game, and they managed to fluke a goal. And then they managed to fluke several fluky wins after that. And that was the impetus. I think if we beat them, then they're playing championship now.
Billy says, if Everton go down there in deeper shape, like Rory says, FFP much more strict down there, because plus they're getting a new stadium. They will also lose players if anyone wants them. That's the thing, Billy. Who wants to buy any of their players? I mean, Anthony Gordon certainly won't be worth anywhere near what they're thinking when they go down. And the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I mean, we all know he was distraught when Vivian Westwood passed, But, who's going to want Calvert-Lewin? Because he's injury prone.
The player that I can think of in the Everton team that someone might want is T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah.
Because, I mean, as I say with Skitterton, he's a very good goalkeeper. It's just his arms are too small.
Yeah,
absolutely. He's the only one that would get them significant money because, Calvert-Lewin, potential, how old is he now? 24? Something like that?
Who's that?
Calvert-Lewin, and he's hardly played a game over the
I think
last couple
so.
of
Yeah, he's not played a lot, has he? Really? So,
So you wouldn't think about him. Gordon maybe, but you wouldn't want to pay a lot for him.
No.
And that's about it.
I mean, yeah, we were linked with Gordon in the summer, and I was in some ways thinking, please don't, because I want to see what this guy can do in his second full season. And to me, he's done nothing for Everton this season. That looks absolutely outstanding. Chelsea tried to buy him in the summer. I'm surprised I haven't gone back in for him in this window. But yeah, other than that, I can't see many players being sold. Sensible Monica says, if Murphy starts over ASM, it's game over for him. Yeah, well, hopefully he won't. Hopefully it'll be ASM who comes on. Glad GSM's playing. Yeah, it just shows you his mind must be okay. And Eddie Howe's probably said to him, make sure he's okay to play. And yeah, absolutely brilliant he's playing. Sorry, Rolly?
I say a lot of it, the substitutions depend on the game situation. Now, in the Arsenal game, I think he brought Murphy on before Maxi, because Murphy will track back more than Maxi, and we needed that in that particular game. But you look at the Leicester game at the end, he brought on Maxi. So a lot of it will depend on the game situation, or if there's an injury. Again, that will determine who comes on. Hopefully, there won't be any. But I think he'll do similar as he did in the last game. Bring Maxi and Isak on in the last 20 minutes, something like that. We don't know how fit they are, match fitness. So he's taking his time easing them back in, which is good, because at the moment we don't have to rush them back in because we're playing so well. Be nice to, and he's got maybe just that they're fully fit and he thinks they're sharp enough. He's just gone with an unchanged team because we're playing well. They've got to wait their time to get on the field, and then when they do get on the field, they've got to try and make themselves undroppable.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I just want to shout out there as well, I mean, if anybody's going to the game, I mean, unfortunately, I'm not going to be at the game, but anybody who's going to the game today, we hope on the 16th minute there'll be a minute's clap for a girl called Amy Godomsky. You've probably seen it on Twitter and social media. She lost her life due to strep A at the age of 16. She was a season ticket holder at Newcastle as well. So it'll be great to see if all the fans can give her a clap on the 16th minute. Because, it's just absolutely tragic that, and that's another fan that's gone too soon in my eyes. And it's 16, that's no age. And just what's going on in this world at the moment with all these bloody diseases and that going around. But I just thought I'd mention that, guys. Away the lad says, see you, Maxi's been nice watching you lads. Shame. Yeah, I mean, let's hope he needs some minutes, Maxi, doesn't he? And he'll get his chance eventually.
The thing is, the team's playing so well that it almost picks itself. I mean, outside of Isak and Maxi, there isn't anyone really that can push for a starting spot.
Yeah. I mean, Troll says, hope our fans don't hound Big Joe. I don't think they will. I'm sure they will all get behind him and give him a lot of support. I mean, yes, what he did was inexcusable at the end of the day. Drink driving, nobody condones drink driving. It does ruin lives. But, I think he's realised the error of his ways. He's apologised. Apparently went to the training ground and apologised to everybody and said he's so sorry and so remorseful. So hopefully he's learned his lesson from this. And at
the end of the day, the courts will deal with him as they see fit. So he's going to get. Yeah. It's not like he's getting off it scot-free. He will be punished by the courts.
He'll get a driving ban.
Yeah.
I'm over the moon. He's not been dropped. Big Joe Linton, lads. Exactly, Gary. I totally agree. Sensible Monica says, Jason will repair Eddie big time today. Yeah, he might even get on the score sheet today.
I mean, I think
the lads.
So
I'd get Harry Suter from Stoke as a backup centre back, and then let him let them keep Gale and take his wages on permanently. Well, Gale is there permanently. He's not getting on the games at the minute because he's not scored a goal, I don't think, since he's been at Stoke City. So we done the right thing getting rid of Harry Dwight Gale, but Harry Suter is a backup. Maybe I'll take him. Maybe if they have him on loan, maybe at the end of the season.
I don't see what people see in Suter is playing at Stoke. He had a half decent World Cup. Wasn't spectacular. I don't see why people would want him personally.
Well, he's backup, isn't he? And
yeah,
it would do for the.
Yeah, but we've got better backups than him.
Yeah, but we've got people out on loan. Troll says, I'm still angry with what Big Joe did, but I'll back the football, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about. It's all about the game today. Gareth says, late to the show, guys. Hope you're both well. Yeah, absolutely, Gareth. And we look forward to another good game today and hopefully 3 points. Oh, 587. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, not too bad, mate. Thank you very much. Tune Revival says, can't believe fans would pick Joe Linton over drink driving, effing disgrace. No morals in this world. Clubs should be hanging their head in shame. Shows if you're a footballer, that's fighting to risk people's lives. We've all said it's not great the drink driving, but I think it's because he's apologised to Eddie Howe. At the end of the day, it's down to the courts and the law of the United Kingdom.
And they will deal with
it. To hand out the justice to Joe Linton, he'll be sentenced for it. They'll give them the punishment they deem fit with the offence. We don't know all the ins and outs of the offence. We don't know how many times he was over the limit or whatever. But at the end of the day, the club are backing him. If he's in the right state of mind, which he must be, that's why he's in the team today with Eddie Howe. So, yeah. Leslie talking to Trolls. Troll says Longstaff should stay 1 hour longer than the others to train on his finisher and maybe get a pointer from Byrne. Yeah, I think Sean Longstaff will be very, he won't be very happy with his finishing, will he?
I think it's quite. When you look at Sean Longstaff, some of the criticism he's getting about the misses he makes, you think it almost sounds in some cases like he's trying to miss. Right? He's not a striker. Yeah. He's not an attacking midfield player. The fact that he's getting in positions to score is like a bonus. And I'm sure that he is working on his finishing. But I'd be more worried if it was Callum Wilson missing those chances than I would be Longstaff. Because how many goals do you expect Longstaff to score in the season? 3, maybe 4?
Maybe.
At tops?
Merson's.
Tops?
Merson's at the ground. Lovely. Oh, because he'll be on for the Arsenal game later. Jules, right, gang, got to run. Take care. How are the lads? Yep, see you later, Jules.
Yes,
Thank you very much. I'm just going to catch up with some of these. Sefton says 2-0. How are the lads? Yeah, that's what I'm going for as well. Billy says at the Emirates. Yeah, absolutely, Billy. Foxy says nothing wrong with Lingard. Video, he was just dancing to drill music. No one had a problem when Paqueta went dancing Brazil funk. Exactly the same thing. Just some get judged differently. Yeah, I totally agree, Foxy. And I mean, yeah. Billy says Tottenham Stadium, I mean. You're right there, Foxy. Billy says, Christ, what a cock up that last post was. It's no worries, Billy. Hey, Billy, we're all human, mate. We all make mistakes. Don't worry. We all have a Sinclair moment, and you've had one as well. Isn't Mudryk set for Arsenal? He was, Trolls, but apparently another one that's been debunked by Chelsea because Chelsea have gone in with a bigger bid, and apparently this is how deluded Arsenal fans are. They're saying if Mudryk doesn't come in the club, Arteta should be sacked because it proves he can't get big players in the club. Do you know what? It just makes you laugh. Let them get on with it as far as I'm concerned. Leslie, Billy, you know what you meant. David Veach. Hi, David. Hope you're well. He says, please, J7's in the team. He needs the club's full support on top of a large fine and educate about his actions. Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about education at the end of the day. We've seen it with other players of clubs where they've had a fine, where they've got done for drink driving and they've been given a new lease of life at the club. So, how are the lads? Definitely get Harry Suter as defensive backup. Playing the World Cup for Aussies would be good for Qual and give Stoke City Gale in exchange to get him off the wage bill. Gale has left the club completely. He is off the wage bill. We did pay his contract off as far as I'm aware. So
I'm just not convinced that Suter.
you'd have, or would you have Cody, says, how are the lads? Eddie House saying J7 in team based on everything they know, also not lessening the severity of his action. Yeah, I don't think Eddie Howe will, be saying just because he's in the team doesn't mean to say we're not worried about what he's done, because Eddie Howe will not be happy with this, and neither will the owners. Hope Big Joe has his mind solely on the match. Yes, Trolls, I think he will do, because that's the only reason Eddie was going to put him in the team. He said his mind has to be on the team. Foxy says, whenever Yerry Mina plays, Everton get a decent result, but he's so injury prone since the Everton move. Yeah, he is, absolutely. Yeah. The Clone Lad, afternoon all. Great to see Big Joe starting. Yeah, definitely, mate. Absolutely brilliant and fantastic. What time's kick off? It's 2 p.m. Joe says, afternoon, lads. Afternoon, Joe. I hope you're well, mate. How are the lads? Streppy come back since the jabs. Yeah, it's just another thing. It's just awful, this, isn't it? And we don't know. Troll says, keep your players fit. They need game time when ready and needed, in my opinion. Yeah. Wayne says, cheers, bud. I like coffee. Hi, Tony Rolling all. Hi, I like coffee.
I like coffee.
Well. Ian says, Mudrick passed his medical at Chelsea. Would have liked him at St James's. Yeah, I would have. But I don't think our owners are going to pay that sort of money. I like coffee. I mean, look what happened to Joe Felix. He's gone there on loan. He went there on loan. No view to any permanent move, just a loan move till the summer. And what a cracking debut he had. Got himself sent off and he's now got a 3-game ban. So, that's a cracking signing by Chelsea, isn't it? Foxy says, Gale did sign for Stoke on a permanent 2-year deal. I thought he did. He's got nothing to do with our club anymore. Good job too. No goals in 22 games. Yeah, absolutely poor. Shows you how crap he is. Even at championship level, he's not got it now.
I mean, how old is he now? Like 33 or something?
He's got to be, hasn't he?
Yeah, so he should really be playing in League One if he wants to continue playing.
Mark says, look, any of us did what J7 did we'd be back at work on the Monday morning. As the club have dealt with it, applied the appropriate punishment so players don't follow suit, then he starts. Do you know what, Mark? You've hit the nail on the head there, mate. I totally agree with you. It's the same thing, yeah. If one of us done it, we will be back at work and nobody will be saying, well, why is he at work when he should be off because he's been in trouble. So, yeah, I see exactly where you come from. I totally agree, mate. And I'll give you a compliment to Star for that one because I think that's absolutely brilliant. Well said, mate. And if you're new to the channel, please give it a like and a subscribe. That'd be great. Thank you. He goes on to say, I don't agree with what you did, but you have to let the club deal with it as well as the law. Yeah, totally agree, mate. Absolutely 100%. I mean, the lads, Foxy, someone said a while back we were paying about 80% of his wages. Foxy. Troll says, as a player, you need to be prepared for when you get the ball in a shooting position. Yeah. Howie the lad says Longstaff should be getting more than 3 or 4 a year, to be fair. Maybe, but we need to see if he can start. Maybe Eddie's got him getting his shooting boots on. But we'll see on that one. Cody would be a great backup in May, to be fair, yeah, but I don't think we'd get him because I think he's played for Wolves this season and then he's also played for Everton, so you wouldn't get him. Ian's in. Hi Ian, hope you're well, mate. He says, afternoon lads, looking forward to my roast dinner and 3 points. Oh, roast dinner, do you know what, Ian, you're making me hungry thinking of a roast dinner now, but enjoy it, mate. And yeah. Foxy says, Gale was paid off by Newcastle. There's a chance there could be a settlement payment over so many years, but would be receiving his Newcastle settlement separately, not through Stoke. Yeah. How are the lads? Says, Foxy, nice one. Hope you ain't pain. We've caught up with the things there. So, yeah, I mean, my prediction today, I'm going on a 2-0 win for the Toon today. It'll be a tough game. Well, certainly won't be the 4-1 that we had down at Fulham. But it is going to be a tougher game. But I still expect us to go out and get the 3 points, get the job done, and go back into third place above above the old Man United and, on goal difference. But guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It does help the channel up the search results. So smash those likes. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. It helps the channel grow. And also bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows as well. Got another comment here. Sefton says, typical of Sky Talk, everything Arsenal except Newcastle. Do you know what, Sefton? This really does pee me off, because when you put Sky on for the match, the build-up to the game for that hour, it should be Newcastle versus Fulham. Not Arsenal versus Tottenham. That's not until 4:30. When they finish the match with Newcastle, then talk about the Arsenal game. But until then, shut up and talk about Newcastle Fulham, and that really does pee me off. And I do see where you're coming from on that, Sefton. It really does annoy me. Yeah. So I totally agree with you on that one. And Rolly, what's your prediction today, my friend?
I'm going 2-0 as well. As you say, it's going to be a tough game. But 2-0. 2-0.
2-0. Yeah, I think it will be a tough game. And we shall.
So I saw the game against Chelsea midweek. Though they were the better team, they gave Chelsea loads of chances. So they're going to have to play better to come away with anything today.
Yeah. At least we know they're not going to do what Leeds done, sit back and make us, and park the bus, basically.
They'll have a go.
Yeah. Niall says 3-2 Newcastle.
Close
game.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but I find it slightly amusing when people say that teams are going to score 2 goals against us, because the only ones to do it so far have been Manchester City and Liverpool. No one else has scored more than 1 goal. So well, it could happen again, but I just find it amusing that people think that people are going to score loads of goals against us.
Chris says, Sky talking out with their Arsenal again. Chris always comes out with the jokes, and he's just got another one in there as well. I mean, obviously, briefly, I've not seen you since then, but I mean, yes, we won on Tuesday. We beat Leicester City 2-0 at St James's Park. Wednesday, we all anticipated for this Carabao Cup draw, which I done live on the Wednesday evening, and it's had over 1,000 views, which was absolutely
congratulations
fantastic.
On that, Tony. Well done.
Yes, thank you. And I even had a Man United fan subscribe to my channel, so even I don't mind who subscribes. They can subscribe from any team they want. I don't mind. It's always nice to get subscribers from everywhere, but also your own as well. But yeah, the draw came out, and away leg was first, and we play Southampton away from home. I mean, Rolly, give me your views on that draw. Yes, I know they beat a Man City team, but some people say Pep Guardiola didn't show Southampton too much respect, and that's why he lost the game. But that draw, Rolly, do you think we will get to the final?
I'm delighted with that draw. The bit that I'm most delighted about is that we're away from home first. So if we do slip up at St Mary's, we can put it right at St James's. I don't think we will slip up at Southampton, but we want to play. All I wanted was to play the second leg at home, and we got that. Man United would have been a harder draw, but I think we could get past them. But yeah, we've got our best chance of getting to a final in a long time. We should, all things being equal, we should beat Southampton.
Yeah.
But it's a funny old game, and I think it's, with it being a 2-legged semi-final, it makes the odds of an upset that much less, because you get 2 bites at the cherry.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting that the other semi-final, Forest against Man United, because as I say, Forest are putting in some decent performances at home, and they could shock United. make it difficult for them. And it's I can't believe they're playing Forest are at home. If they shot United at home, it could make it a tricky tie for them when they go to Old Trafford. Because if they go in leading in the tie, they've got something to defend.
Yeah,
and they could try and park the bus. I'd love it if they.
Man U have got to play Reading in a cup game on a Saturday evening in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Before that game, and then they play on the Wednesday because we play on the Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Man U play on the Wednesday. Man U's at home first. Sorry.
Okay.
So it's at home first. I thought it was away first for some reason.
So if they're at home,
Man U are
if Man U are at home first, as long as Forest is still in the tie, it makes it for an interesting game at the City Ground for the second leg.
Yeah, and
so,
then I think on the Saturday, Man U they've got Palace at home on the Saturday after that game.
FA Cup.
And then I'm not sure when the next Carabao Cup game is for them, but that's during the week, isn't it? Because Man U got Forest on the Wednesday, so it's going to be But after that game, like I say, they've got that in between the FA Cup game, so it's going to be interesting, isn't it? That's for sure. But before they play that game against Forest, they've got Arsenal away on the Sunday. So you've got Arsenal away on the Sunday. That's going to be a pretty tough game, isn't it, really? Because you've got Arsenal away, then they've got to go and play Nottingham Forest. Then they've got a cup game with Reading, then they're away to Forest. And then they've got a Europa League coming up as well against Barcelona, so they've got to think, what do they want to prioritise?
Yeah, they've got to use their squad wisely to juggle all the competitions. Although I didn't want to get knocked out by Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup, it means we get a free weekend between the semi-final legs. So the silver lining.
Foxy says, Man United fan Sinclair. Yeah, I bet he's got a half and half shirt ready for the final if they get through. Leslie says, Bruno on Sky with his wife and dad, legend. Oh, that's brilliant. Sefton says, who's in the middle for us today? I can't think of his name. I'm sure it starts with a B. Yeah, we all know who it is.
Bruno.
We all know who that is, Sefton. And it's of course it's that guy there.
And he knows exactly what we need.
Yeah. Absolutely. Gary says, if we get by Southampton and Forest do Man U, it would be horrible if Forest went on to win the cup. But I can't say.
It'd be horrible if we get through and we play Man United and Man United win the cup.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Glad we're not fighting relegation this season because it's only 5 points separate 13th and 20th. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Paul says, can't lie, Man U have a nice little run of games, minus the City game. Yeah, totally agree. Well, guys, we'll come to the end of the show now. But as I say, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel up the search results. And also, if you're brand new to the channel, please give it a subscribe as well. I've got some fantastic content coming out. I've got a match reaction show, which will be coming up at probably around 6 p.m. this evening. So tune in for that and have your say. Come on live, have your say on how today's game's gone. And so before that, I'm going to ask Rolly if you would like to tell everybody where we can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Poles67. If you follow me, I'll follow you back.
Thank you very much, Rolly. And yeah, you can find me on, well, you know my channel, you're on it now. And also you can find me at TonyTony31 on Twitter. Follow me and I'll follow you back. And yeah, let's hope. And I'll just go through some last comments before we go off. Sefton says, great show, lads. How are you, the lads? Yeah, absolutely, Sefton. Cheers, mate. Chelsea are only 10 points clear of relegation, lads, says Gary. Yeah, they are, aren't they? I mean, Jesus, that's just yeah, it's unthinkable, Gary. Though that's the thing, isn't it? I like coffee. By Tony Rowley and all. By I like coffee. Hope
Right,
you well. Enjoyed the game. The post says, I really don't want Man U to win it. All their fans on social reckon they've already won it. Yeah, they do. And you know what? Yes, they're on a run at the moment, but that run's going to come to an end, surely. Hopefully, if Arsenal. Mighty Mag says, great show, Tony and Rowley and chatters. Yeah, thanks very much, Mighty Mag. See you later. Take care, all, says Leslie. See you later. I like coffee. Apparently, Everton fans put the Everton owners in a headlock. Oh, okay. Not seen that one, but interesting.
I've heard it reported, but I don't know how true that is. But their directors were told to stay away from the game yesterday because for safety concerns, that's disgusting.
It is. Great show, Tony and Rowley, says Chris. Thanks very much,
Chris.
Rowley. See you later. And I like coffee, says Man U fans saying they've won the Carabao Cup and feel they're in the title race. Yeah, until they lose a few games and then they'll start shouting at Ten Hag again. But yeah, that's all. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get off now because we've got to go and watch this important match, and hopefully it's 3 points and back into third place. That's what we want. And how are the lads? Come on the tune. Let's do it. We can do it. Come on, lads. Yeah. Let's go.